Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new episode of Hot Mic, a weekly panel show here for the Call of Duty World League. I will be joined by 4 players, and this is going to be a fun show. I've got a good group of guys here. Let's introduce them. To my left, first, Octane of Luminosity. Welcome to Division B. Welcome to Columbus, Ohio. How you doing, pal?
I'm doing great. I'm kind of annoyed that you said I was really good in rehearsals, and now you're just said I'm a player.
I think you're an incredible player, Sam.
He did say one of the best before.
He did say one of the best.
I think you are one of the best players, Sam.
All right.
We'll move along.
Whatever.
I've got Skrapz of Unilad, one of the funniest professional players. You're good, too. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, thanks, mate. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I'm excited to have you here. You looking forward to the matches?
Yeah, can't wait. I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, I've had some good memories here myself, so I'm looking forward to it.
All right, well, we'll get to the matches soon enough, but first, we've got some fun to have. Next up, Slasher of Team EnVyUs. Welcome. I believe this is your first Hot Mic?
Yeah, first time, Mike.
Yes, well, welcome. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. You know, I'm glad to be back in Ohio. Got a lot of good memories here. Hoping this is another one.
All right, we've had a lot of matches here for the Call of Duty World League, that's for sure. And Hot Mic veteran Patrick Price. I believe you were on the first ever Hot Mic. This is like your 3rd or 4th now. Thanks for coming on again. How you doing, pal?
I'm good. Yeah, this is a lot.
Yeah, you've been on a lot of Hot Mics. I keep
my a lot.
Yeah, just a lot. But yeah, I'm doing good. Ready to compete.
All right, well, let's get into it. First thing we're going to do, guys, is a CWL debrief. Basically, we're going to go through and talk about Division A. Obviously, these guys are here for Division B, but I kind of want to get your guys' takes on some things. I'm sure you guys were watching most of the matches as they've been incredibly entertaining, and it was kind of a roller coaster of 2 weeks. But first off, if we could bring up the graphic just to show the standings right now for Division A. So we're basically halfway through. It's double round robin. All the teams have now played each other once. And I want to go through, and once this goes away, if you guys have questions, need reminders on map counts or something, let me know. But we're going to go through and talk about each team. We'll start at the top with this. So the first team I want to talk about is going to be Optic Gaming. So Optic, obviously, they come in hot. They beat TK in one of their first matches. There's a lot of doubt from New Orleans. They get top 12, but they come in, they look strong, right? Now they've lost, like, their last 4 hard points. They lost their last series. I guess I kind of want to hear from you guys overall, like, where is Optic for you guys right now, like, status-wise, if you take a look at overall? We can start with you, Sam.
They're way better with the FG than where they were at NOLA with the bar and the STG, I think.
Okay.
I think Krim is a way better player than FG as opposed to the other 2 guns, like I said. And I think the short amount of time between the events kind of shows that you can't really change something that quickly.
Okay.
Unless it's like a nerf or a buff to a gun like that.
Well, we've seen Krim dropping bombs. One of the other major changes they had, Formal's running a sub more on some of the maps. Pat, for you, has that been a big difference now with them having 3 subs on some of these maps?
I don't really think so. I think it's more so they're not in a tournament environment, right? There's no these weekly group play matches where you play every team twice. There's no stress if you lose. There's not a 1,000 people watching you in the crowd. You're just playing the game, and I think they excel in that environment versus a tournament environment, so to speak. When you lose, you're done, where we see TK doing really well right now. But yeah, I mean, I think they had a role switch up, but I don't think it's why they're succeeding in Division A. Well,
they're at the top right now. We're going to see if they're able to keep it up. But let's keep moving through some of the other teams. Sitting in second Slasher is Rise right now. The final match was them beating TK. It was a reverse sweep, I believe. They have the best overall map percentage. Could you make an argument that Rise is the best team in the game right now?
To be honest, I think they are looking like the best from the first week. I mean, I don't know. It depends on how like Division B teams play, but from what I saw, Rise is looking like the best. I'm really looking forward to them playing Optic next time. Yeah. I think they have a really good chance of beating them, so we'll see how that plays out.
Skrapz, for you, what's been really impressive about Rise Nation?
I think TJ and Search and Destroy.
Iceman!
TJ, 100%.
Iceman!
Yeah, he's been doing a lot in CTF and Search and Destroy for this team, so if he keeps doing what he's doing, I can see them being the
Well, I made the comment before the TK series that was something along the lines of, with the way Methods has been playing in Respawn, the way TJ's been playing in Search, it just feels like they'll be in any series. Like, they're just not going to get 3-0 stomped.
The thing is, too, is TJ's been playing out his mind at Respawn the past few days. Like, he had 40 in a CTF, 40 in a hard point, like... You can't lose if your sub's doing that. Like, you can't lose.
What was it, Jared, I think, said? Like, how many engagements did he have in that series? I just, like, I was like 5,000.
And he was winning most of them. He was winning most
5,000.
It felt like so many. But let's keep moving through the standings. Next up will be Team Caliber. I guess my question sort of to everyone right now, I know it's only been 2 weeks, but is Team Caliber still the team to beat? Are they the best team in the game still?
I think they still play the game the best. I think if you see their stats, like they could get outslayed by doesn't matter how many kills, and they're still winning hard points. That in itself is impressive. And again, I mean, it's back to that argument where I feel like when like something insane is on the line, where if you lose, you go home, they're gonna clutch up. And it's just like for them, this is group play. They know they're probably a top 2 team here in this group, no matter what. so they're not stressing as much to win.
Sam, for you, though, is it a little bit concerning how many Game 5s they've been to
I was going to
recently?
say, I kind of disagree with Pat here. I do believe they're the best clutch team in the game, but I think that people have caught up to them, and I think that the reason that they've won back-to-back events isn't because they're blowing teams out. It's not because, well, it is because they understand the game better, but, like, when's the last time we saw TK Hardpoint? You were like, wow, they just get smoked them. It's like, oh my God, they clutched up and won by 10 again.
All of their games are like 250, 240.
Exactly.
Were they ever
230.
smoking anyone, though? Like, I never saw any of their games from both events where they smoked people.
Exactly. Like, I think they're just a better clutch team than anyone else.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a skill thing.
They finally lost their first Game 5 in that Rise series. Up to that, they were like, what, 10-0, 10-0, something like that. But it'll be interesting to see. Now we're going to go to my European expert, Skrapz. We're talking about Red Reserve. Red Reserve were okay in Week 1. Week 2, they looked incredible. How good is this Red team?
They are really good, but what I noticed about a lot of the teams, it happened at, what was the last event, New Orleans. All the American teams wasn't banning London Docks hardpoint, which Trade he doesn't like using an AR. He likes using an AR, but he thinks he's better with a sub. So they're running 3 subs on it, and they're just dominating everyone. Josh is playing good, so they're winning that first map, and obviously they've got 4 S&D gods, so it's just all benefiting them. No one banning London Docks hardpoint.
It just doesn't make sense to me. It's like teams know. I mean, if you're a pro, you know the win percentages of maps when a team plays them. Reds, London Docks hardpoint, TK, Forest S&D, things like that, and people are like,
That was the one that was crazy.
We're still better than them.
TK was 10
and then they're gonna
and
lose.
people were still like, let's just play them on fourth. Maybe we'll beat them,
And then they lose, and then they're like, well, I don't understand why we lost. We played our maps.
Well, for me, like, Red is
Makes
the
no
opposite
sense.
of Optic and Rise, where they strictly ban the AR maps and try and get sub maps.
Yeah,
Where you look
that's
at
exactly
Rise and
why,
Optic, they want to go for the FG
trade.
maps. Like, even Rise at NOLA was making sure they got AR maps and using the FG before it got rebuffed, and it's like they want those AR maps where they can just post up.
Well, I think I saw, oh God, I hope I'm not misquoting this, but I think I saw a tweet from JP, one of our stats guys, that said that London Docks actually was banned in Red Series 6 out of 7 of their series.
We banned it when we played them in pool play.
Just from the Pro League, but
okay.
the fact they're still winning and that most teams aren't really playing London Docks.
From losers bracket for like 4 series, they had that first map. Nobody was banning it, and they were just smoking everybody on it.
They were in our pool, and we banned it, and it was like no knock to them, but it was like a 25-minute series. It's like I don't understand why teams are playing these maps against Red like that.
That's true. Well, I think we've got a lot more Call of Duty under the belt of the season right now that we're 3 months in. People are starting to start taking advantage of the bans, the veto process a lot more. I do want to talk about one thing specifically. I'm hoping you guys all watch this series, maybe not, but it was Red Reserve versus Era, and I know Era's taken some flack for streak use. This is the one where I think they used like 7 streaks and got a kill with them. I guess I want to hear if this is more. We're going to show some of the highlights from it. Is this more Red Reserve dealing with streaks well, or is this more Era just not being good with streaks?
It's Era not being good.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, Red Reserve did have 4 players go mountain and a hardpoint. This first time I've ever seen it before.
They are good at that, though. I will give them that. That's like they're one of the teams that does that, along with I think Rise does it too.
They did it versus Optic on Gibraltar, and it really threw Optic off.
They are good at realizing the streaks and mountain and things like that, but like this is a repetitive thing with Era. This isn't like a one-time thing.
True.
So Red's like, oh, just outplayed. Like they don't know how to use streaks.
Like, look at that glide bomb. They hit like the top of the box.
And they're using it with like 30 seconds left on
Not
hills.
only do they suck with it, they just don't know when to call
That's
them.
what- yeah,
That's the
it's like-
biggest thing.
There's like, look at the time on this hill.
You never use streaks on P2 unless the other team's about to win.
The thing about hardpoint too is
Is this actually a montage of them?
you generally know where the other team is. Even
Yeah.
if they have mountain, you should at least get 1 kill. Like you know where they're
kill them out of a
at.
power position.
Like something, yeah.
What's funny, we showed the Red Reserve streak. They called in like 1 glide bomb and 1 fighter pilot thing. Got 1
more
kill
kills
with each.
than-
Yeah, they got more kills with those 2 than like 7 that came out of Era.
And the thing about that game is it's a 20-point game
Right?
That should
with
be
like 9 streaks.
at least
waste
70 point in Era's favor, at least.
Well, I want to
Those
hear
streaks.
your guys' opinion on this. So I know Jack and I did a show like right after Dallas, the first event, and the one thing I said that stood out to me was like how quickly people were running streaks and how powerful they really were that first event. Do you think teams in general are getting much better at dealing with like the glide bomb and fighter pilot, just like from a positioning standpoint? Because I feel like they're not as, I mean, they're still very good. But Dallas, I remember, that's the one thing that stood out the most. Like, it's just how crazy the streaks were. Is that one thing you've like kind of?
I think it's mainly the fighter pilot. Like, you need to pull out mountain to stop that fighter pilot. Like a glide bomb, like okay, it'll get 1 kill, that's fine. But like the fighter pilot has the potential to get all 4 of you if you're in a hill spread out the way they call it in. If it's lucky, like it's the most OP streak by far. So I mean, Yeah,
This should be more from like a barrage.
And at Dallas, nobody was onto that mountain thing. Nobody was changing to mountain when somebody had a fighter. So
I don't. Also, like another thing is that event was so quick after the game came out that I think people didn't realize when streaks were going to be used on hills and like the timings. And now people realize that it's like, oh, play closer to buildings, like third hill in Gibraltar. Feel like sitting turret or like that back building.
Well, the thing about it too is the angle of the streak is really
that's
important.
big
But
too.
not only we're getting better at dodging it, people are understanding how to put the angle on the hill. Like they're spawning here, I need to angle it here. So it's hard to dodge.
That's what has stood out to me the most. Seems like teams are getting better with them, but also adapting to those actual streaks because you know what's coming on certain hard points for sure. Well, let's keep moving through. The next team I want to talk about is Mindfreak. Now, before we get into talking about the team specifically, I actually want to talk about some of the all-time great listen-ins because there was a really hysterical one with Mindfreak. Can we actually roll the clip from that in case you haven't seen it at home?
If you.
We'll avoid the word, but this is versus Optic as they're blowing them out. We'll let it play out here.
One's already straight on me. I'm coming to help. Straight tag. Quad. He's back. Radio.
This one starts.
I don't have long, yeah?
Yeah, I believe it's like right now.
Long tag. Tag with an aim. Another long.
Such a routine kill.
Oh my.
That's all he did. I don't think he did another call out for like 90 seconds.
I mean, when you're winning gunfights like that, that's what you gotta say.
That's all he said. But no,
I'm hyped as heck if I'm his team.
It was hysterical. But I want to hear from you guys. I guess. Do you have any like all-time favorite listen-ins? Because the one that stands out to me is definitely the Envy at Champs when you guys were down 10-0 to E United. The story of that and the hype at the end was one of the craziest things ever. What was it like being part of that comeback, man? That was nuts.
Yeah, that's a crazy moment. Like, when you're in the moment, you're kind of just thinking like, all right, what's the next map? Because if your whole team doesn't get streaks, if you don't play perfect COD, you're losing that map. You're down 10-0. I think there was 3 minutes left on the clock, so I still don't know how we did it, but somehow we won.
I think it's a pretty insane call to listen in on the team down 10-0 and catch that comeback on the listening. That was absurd. I think that was a lucky moment.
Well, they'll usually, just so you guys know how it works, typically a producer will say in our ear, do you guys want to go to a listen-in with this? And we'll be like, yeah. And then usually the casters will kind of call how long we want it to be. Like, if we want to stick with it, we want to get out of it. And this is one of those where you couldn't leave. Like, it was just too nuts of a comeback. But
John somehow got a 3-piece right there. I still know.
Dude,
they're all weak.
We're in the air.
They were a little weak, but
can we just take a second? We're in the air with lasers.
Whoa.
And now we're killing people with people.
Bro, and we had 4 dead. Look at him throw a 1. What?
Imagine you just breaked it and it like glitched into the wall and you guys.
No, Cap was like, I'm just getting the ball. I was like, all right, just toss it to me.
all this makes me want is I cannot wait for Champs, bro.
Oh.
I remember
so
watching
hyped.
this and I had chills.
That's unreal,
What were the next map?
We also came back the next map. We were down like 100
Good.
points.
That
on
was
hard
restyle,
point.
right?
Yeah.
That was so good, so good. Well, no, that was a memorable listening for sure. But back to talking about Mindfreak real quick. So, I think we've all you've heard us say as casters or analysis, like we feel the longer they're here, the more they're going to improve. A big problem for them has just been having solid practice, really, in the APAC region. How impressive, I guess, for you guys was the turnaround from week 1 to week 2? Because it went from like them not looking like they could win a map to suddenly they're taking Optic to a game 5, TK to a game 5.
I want to know who they scrimmed on that week.
Yeah, what was their practice like?
Yeah,
Hard
yeah.
point practice.
Yeah, they must have played people I've never seen because they just got absurdly good.
Yeah.
Ryan
Probably
Bacardi.
playing against Celium and Ryan Bacardi.
Because, I mean, you think Optic was, what, the best hardpoint team in week 1, and then over the weekend, Mindfreak comes back and 100-point clubs them? Like,
Dude, I say this every time because they beat, I think it was you guys at Dallas, right? And they knocked you guys out. I feel like they have that one series every event. Well, I guess now it's more than one series, but like they just do something crazy. And I feel like there's this meter of how hard they have to lose until they hit like 100%, and then they realize like, oh, wow, we should probably start winning, and then they just start taking.
Yeah, in that Dallas series, we 100-point clubbed them game 1, and then won game 2 like 6-1, and then game 3 we saw a different team and
You're
got
filling the
smoked.
bar, and then and then after that, they just pop off.
That's nuts, though. It's been crazy to see how much they've improved. You know, they were looking at like 7th, 8th place, and then with the final match, they actually end up popping all the way to 5th now in the standings. And you got to think with the difference from last year. You know, last year you come in for a weekend, if you have a slow start, if you're Mindfreak, you're screwed, right?
Yeah.
But now you actually have a lot of COD left to play. The team that was on the receiving end of Mindfreak and away from this was Echo Fox, who was sitting in 5th. I do want to talk about Echo Fox because they went They looked all right week 1. Then week 2, I believe they were 1-12 in map count. They just got smoked by anyone and everyone.
Was it really 112?
Yeah.
I don't even know that.
I'm almost
Bad.
positive.
Yeah.
Well,
What the hell's going wrong with Echo
I
5?
feel like when they get put on those 3 sub maps, what do? Like, they have Aqua. Obviously, they have Saints, but like Aqua in that sub flex position is. I don't feel like that's where he's succeeding. They need to stick to these 2 AR maps. But if they're losing the veto, like they're gonna lose.
Well, you're gonna have to play one
Yeah,
sub
yeah,
map.
Right?
no
Yeah,
matter
but I
what.
mean, they're end up playing like I've seen them play St. Marie and London, and
Yeah,
it's like, what are you doing?
I felt they're pretty good at London though. Every time we play,
I don't know. If I was on Echo Fox and I have Assault and Aqua on my team,
You want
I'm
2
making
ARs.
sure there's 2 AR maps.
Okay, well, what can they do? Because obviously, with the veto process, you don't control the entire outcome.
Yeah.
What can they do to get around that? I mean,
Yeah,
if you think that's the problem.
Yeah, one of them.
Yeah,
but
one-
also, I mean, I see them get that bad map 1, and then lose it, and then just start arguing.
No, yeah,
about it.
it's Nato and Yuli.
Yep.
Not. I don't want to roast. I really don't want to roast them, but like,
No, I would
they're
love for you to
huge
do that.
mindset players. Like, if Nato goes down in a series, it's like he already counts himself out.
Well, you teamed with Nato,
Yeah,
obviously,
it's-
all
yeah.
last year.
It's one of his bad traits, but you know it's outweighed by all the good, obviously. But you know, and then you have Yuli, who I've played with as well, where there's if you get down, it's hard to recover. And then you have Bryce, but I feel like he kind of tries to level that out.
He should be fine. I could
Yeah.
see Bryce being down 0-2, feeling like he's up 2-0.
exactly.
But that's just Bryce, though. I mean,
Yeah.
does his like confidence go to Yuli and Saints?
Nah.
Necessarily? Does it fix them? I don't feel like it does.
You need everyone on that same mindset.
And I feel like Bryce, at least he stands out to me as a guy that really feeds off the energy of a crowd and stuff. Like, he'll get really, really hyped, and that's a little bit more difficult to do when you're at the arena.
Yeah,
Just,
this environment I said before is an entirely different game. So you have to go hard every single series and rely on your team's capability versus getting hype or whatever else.
Well, we got to see if they can turn it around. They still have 2 more weeks to play. Again, we're halfway through Division A. Skrapz, talk to me a little bit about the next team, Vitality. They have,
Yeesh, where do you want to get started, mate?
honestly, wherever you want to get started works for me.
Well, obviously the last series he looked decent in, but other than that, every series he went into, I just think he was going to get 3-0'd.
Yeah, felt that way.
I don't know, like at Dallas, they looked good. They beat you, didn't
They
they?
beat us.
Yeah, they looked decent at Dallas.
They beat half the desk, actually.
Wow. This
Well-
is what I mean. So I don't know what's gone wrong there. Like,
They're just open players.
I guess. Well, I talked to, Skrapz, I'm curious if you agree with this. I talked to Rated up in the Pro Player Lounge. And I basically said something along the lines like, is there another EU team that would deserve it more than them? And he was like, no. He's like, Vitality is good. I don't know what the hell's going wrong with them here, but he actually had like a lot of faith that they were a solid team. Is it something about being outside the country or just things not clicking?
they wasn't even that bad at New Orleans, so I don't know what's gone wrong. Like, 2 of them went home, 2 of them stayed here when everybody went home from NOLA, so
okay.
that could have been it. That might have played a part, but other than that, I don't know what's gone wrong with that team.
I don't think they're bad. I just think they're the opposite of clutch. Like every series they get into, they just do not clutch up. I don't know.
That's not a good line to have about your team.
The opposite of clutch.
Sorry. I love the French.
Yeah, right. All right, let's talk about the last place team, Era. And Era,
Dude, they should not be last.
No.
exactly.
They should not.
They should not be last.
They should be almost.
They
like
should be like
in the top
5th.
4.
They should be 5th.
They have 8 map wins, but only 1 series victory, and they played a lot of people tough. What's the overall problem with this team?
Streets.
The opposite of clutch.
Yeah, them too. Like they play everyone insanely close. Even the best teams, TK, Optic, Rise, they all played them so close, and they just cannot close
It's
out.
got to
the
be the
series.
inexperience.
Dude, it's like the opposite. It's
gotta be.
It's like, okay, how is TK gonna win this? And now we watch it. It's like, how are they gonna throw this game?
Yeah.
Is that
Oh shit, he's gotta go.
is that young players, or is that more them just not playing together that long?
I think he was doing it a lot. I think it's just him getting gas, getting the streaks, and then just using them straight away, like not thinking about it.
Barrel shot bodies.
I've done that before, just using them straight away. Like it can backfire so bad. So that plays a big part in it. Them streaks.
They need to focus on closing. Like they go up in every
Yeah.
map. Like they just gotta slow it down. I think they get too hyped, they get too into it, and they just throw it away. They gotta just slow it down. I think Rick needs to play a big part and kind of just like
Yeah, that's
mentally
what-
get them in check and get them to slow down and just play their game and close them out.
I feel like they'll come back way better next week.
Yeah, they
I
definitely
feel
will.
like Rick's just gonna drill it in their heads.
They have the talent.
They're just
Like,
gonna make him.
Well, they're either
going
going to come back better or they're going to come back a lot worse. I think it's no in
Yeah,
between.
you can't-
I mean, if they maintain the level of play they have now, it can't get. I mean, just
Can't-
learn how to use your streaks.
it
and
can't
win
get-
series.
You're in last place, so it can't get a whole lot
Yeah,
worse, I guess.
exactly.
But yeah, that does it for Division A. I just wanted to kind of chat with you guys about each team, just where they stand, because they'll be coming back in a couple of weeks. But before we talk about Division B, we're going to go to our player intel sections. We're going to chat with you guys about various topics here. this is where we try to get to know the players a little bit, not as COD focused per se. But Octane, we're gonna start with you. I haven't had you on here since everything went down. I sort of want to hear how, you know, Saints, Classic leaving the team, getting rid of Saints, like how everything kind of went down for you guys to form this new roster.
Well, I guess I'll just say it. Nick wanted to leave for a while in AW,
Okay.
or IW rather, and you know, we played out the year. It kind of played a part on our mental.
So you
game
knew about it.
Yeah, we knew he wanted to leave, and we had a better placing at champs than I was completely expecting because we came out Friday and it was, or Wednesday I guess there, and it was bad. So you know, we got through champs, and then you know Nick was going to go to Envy regardless of what happened. So he ended up leaving. Yeah, thanks, Austin.
Well, I mean, if we won, we wouldn't have changed.
Yeah,
but
Yeah.
I mean, you're probably thankful now.
But yeah, Nick left, and then you know, Cap and John reached out to me and Jerry, and was like, you know, I play with Cap. John's, you know, one of the greatest Call of Duty players of all time. So I mean, what can really go wrong with that?
Yeah,
Going into boots with J-Cap.
Well, it worked out well, obviously, so far. I guess I kind of want to hear from you, and maybe this probably resonates with J-Cap more, but after what went down with EnVyUs Slasher, like, does it feel kind of good to be doing better than EnVyUs so far? Like, it kind of has to, right?
I don't think so.
No? Doesn't matter?
not probably for him.
I don't
but it
care.
probably, yeah, he's.
Well, I was thinking
mean,
more Classic
well, Nick.
leaving. Yeah, Nick.
Yeah, I
Nick,
guess.
I just like
Probably-
beating Nick. I don't know.
That's more of a question for like Cap. and Bill.
Yeah, no.
I feel like it matters way more for them than it does for me.
I have to assume it's probably a big deal to Cap. We'll probably have him on next week as he's recovering from his Super Bowl victory for the Eagles. All right, Skrapz, you're up next, buddy.
Oh, mate.
Okay, first off, I want to hear, like, you provide some of the funniest videos on Twitter that I've ever seen. You have a beef back and forth with my roommate and co-caster, Jack Courage Dunlap. How'd that start?
I don't even know. I just can't stand him. Just does me head in, so I don't even know how it started. To be honest, he'd probably know. I can't remember though. To be fair.
Well, I do want to show one video we have of you. I believe this is you singing a song to and about Jack. Let's roll it.
Let's have a look. I can't even remember. You big fat burger, stop begging it, you little pudding. With your hospital you stink of big pudding. You big bowling ball, you big pudding, you big fat.
Why is your shirt always off?
I was in bed. That was in the going for that long travel day.
like dog's ass, you big fat pudding.
Are you calling pudding?
Yeah. He's big in him, man. He's a big guy. He's a big hairy bloke. Him.
He is a hairy bloke.
He needs to shave that beard. I don't know where he's got that idea from, but he must.
He wants to
Probably.
It's gotta be. Yeah,
It's a bad one. It
wants
is.
to look like me. No, he looks creepy.
He looks like a two.
Creepy as hell with that beard, I'll be honest with you. The next thing I want to talk to you with Skrapz is about, you had a just horrendous travel day. First, I want to roll a clip I thought was pretty funny of when you got back to your house, because there's just some things happening in here I don't understand.
Oh, I was out of breath and everything.
Yeah. First, did you sprint home from
No,
the
just
plane?
out of breath. Just give up with life, really. It was.
Coming down on the flight
Dog was being a little.
on the way to Manchester
Little shit in the background.
to land. We
Look.
dog's causing mayhem. Going bonkers. We was doing circles in the clouds.
Oh, on the way
We were
down,
doing
I was
circles
nearly
'cause
crying
how
on the
busy it
flight.
was. But now I'm home.
That's just God messing with you at that point. Like,
Then I got
And you
McDonald's.
boys got the Mac.
Oh, it was unreal.
Shout out the party.
What
Having a great
Mackey's?
day.
McDonald's, yeah.
Is that like slang for
It's
McDonald's?
well nicer at home as well, McDonald's, compared to it. It's well nicer.
It's nicer there than here?
Yeah, well nicer.
international McDonald's. Are
Yeah,
It is
they're
better.
definitely better.
I don't know if I've ever been
They have
to
a bigger menu too.
Like Paris McDonald's are dumb nice.
Yeah, even ours is well nicer than Paris. I think Paris is hanging compared to ours.
Oh, thank God we're going over there.
Yeah, I honestly, I don't think that I ever...
When you
never
go
went to
Birmingham,
McDonald's.
go McDonald's. It's well nicer.
All right.
Noted.
Well, we are going to move on to one of my favorite duos in history of Call of Duty, ACHES and Slasher. So,
You call them a duo?
there's something. We have a segment here where I'm going to try and help their relationship. We're going to talk about it, but first I need to get ready.
Oh God, he's putting the wig on.
Oh boy.
It's so.
That looks a bit like your head. That. The front of it.
What color is that exactly?
I think it's like gray. Alright, well,
So for anyone that's ever watched Dr. Phil,
this is going so well.
I'm here to heal. Now, you two have hated each other at times. I've watched a 20-minute video of you guys screaming at each other. I look awful.
Everyone's going to be flapping it. Everyone's going to be turning it off.
First, all right, so you guys teamed with FaZe. You won an event all the way back to Kickoff AW. Then you teamed on Envy, and you guys couldn't make it through a scrim without almost killing each other. Pat, what is it about Slasher that pisses you off, buddy?
I like the subtle piano.
This is nice, yeah.
Yeah, that's a vibe, that.
What is it that's really...
This is a safe place.
Grind your gears. It's a safe place, yes.
Well, you have a child.
Oh.
You don't... you want the best for them, right? So, you know, I picked him up on FaZe and AW, won him his first event, got him his best placing at Champs at the time.
Oh, we
And
done it
then-
That was
all?
my only placing at champ, so that would have been my best.
His best placing at Champs.
That was also his worst.
And then,
Also my worst now.
and then you just see him go down a dark path. And
I'm going to cry.
you really hate to see it. And I'm trying my best to get through to him. And he doesn't reply well to me being nice and kind. So you have to kind of just be stern and be strict and get him to focus on, you know, the reality of everything. And that's just, hey, Austin, you'll never beat me at boots on the ground Call of Duty. And it's been proven. Thank you for allowing me to qualify for the MLG Pro League now that I'm here in Columbus, because I beat you. And I don't. You guys don't have the clip, but in the Arden's Hardpoint, he lost a gunfight that lost him the game to me.
I actually...
Wow, he remembers it all, bro.
I also
He's
had
killing
40
you,
that
bro.
map.
Wow.
We may actually have that clip. I don't know if it's ready, but I think we actually do have a clip. But before we get to that, because
Oh, do we actually have a clip?
we might.
Oh, man.
Slasher, I need to know. How does that make you feel?
I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me. He said I went down a dark path. I made like $300,000 in prize money the next year. I literally.
It's a dark,
This is
it's a dark green
these
pad.
are tough times.
What is this?
What's this?
Like, but like right here, see, like
Wow,
in
my
Black
shot
Ops
was
3,
crispy.
everyone remembers me with the M8. Pat tried to run the M8 over me.
I remember Pat's raps count.
What?
It was nice, right? It was nice.
Yeah, in scrims.
No, that was to qualify for the stage 1
But
of
what-
Black Ops 3.
Back when you guys would scrim though, Slasher, like you guys would get so heated. Like, why would Pat piss you off?
Because he didn't listen to me. He thought he
Trying to
knew it
heal.
all.
This is a safe place.
He just doesn't listen to anything I say.
As you've seen
ever.
a lot of Twitch chats, Slasher thinks he's a know-it-all.
Nah, two
And
leaders
he's
on one
not.
team, never going to work. These
Nah, it's not
A-Cap
facts.
and Proofy can never team together.
2 leaders on a team is good. It's just someone's got to be the alpha. And I was
it's not Austin.
Yeah, exactly.
I was
That's where
the
it goes
alpha.
wrong.
He tried to get me to run a sub. I told him, let me
That
run
is not
the AR.
true. You diluted that. J-Cap should have been the one to run a sub, and that was facts, and he didn't want to, so you became a sub because he wouldn't switch. Don't lie.
See, how
to
are we
the
supposed to
viewers.
heal if he doesn't even tell the truth?
I don't know.
Wow.
We can bring Cap out here.
It's just where is he?
Bring-
Started on evac
Let's get him on
hardpoint.
here. Well, I need
That cut deep. Oh my god.
You know what I mean? Like you gotta be real.
guys. We're gonna fix this. I'm gonna need you each to say just one kind thing to each other. Pat, I need you to tell. Slasher
I don't want to start.
one. Okay. Slasher, we're gonna start with you. Just one thing that you like about Pat.
Take his hand before you do it.
Kiss him on
Not as bad on boots.
the. See
That's
that?
kind
That's a
of a
start. That's a start.
compliment,
That's a
That's a
start.
rip, bro.
That's a backhanded compliment I've ever heard.
Pat,
He's not as bad. Wow.
do you have anything kind or venomous that you'd like to say to Slasher?
I'll say something nice.
Okay.
How does it feel to be so single-handedly under Hastro, the worst roster decision he's ever made in his life?
Is that nice? You said it.
Yeah, wait, nice.
No, it was nice because he's the only one that's ever done that.
That's true.
You get a medal for that.
I think Dr. Maven's doing more harm than good here. I tried. I look like an asshole.
It's just not fixable at this point. It's too far gone.
Yeah, no, it has been years and years and years.
Oh,
I'm gonna be honest. This thing itches. Really, I'm done.
You already gave up on
Should have
us.
gave the side view. It looked much better.
Still looks like you've got it on.
How my bald head's back.
Still looks like you've got.
Yeah, nothing changed actually. That was just me if I let my hair grow for a week. Okay, now that my cards and everything are covered here. All right. I enjoy you too, by the way. You make what I do very
on?
fun. The romantic music is really doing.
This is nice.
Yeah,
can I get the soundtrack?
All right, let's keep moving on. We talked about Division A. We got to know you guys a little bit and a little trash talk that I enjoyed. But now let's transition forward. So we've got 8 teams coming in. 4 of them are going to be represented here. Let's toss up graphics just to show everybody at home who's going to be playing on Tuesday to kick things off. Luminosity, United, FaZe Clan, Team EnVyUs, Evil Geniuses, Splice, Unilad, and Epsilon. I wouldn't mind. I kind of just want to go through team by team. We can talk about the 4 that aren't here and talk about your guys' squads. First off, Luminosity. I guess how you guys feeling coming in? You had not the greatest kickoff to the year at Dallas, but you guys seem to have improved big time since then.
I don't know. We suck at online. We're horrible online COD. So
why is that?
I don't know. I really couldn't. I think we just hate each other online, to be honest with you. It's like before Dallas and before New Orleans, it's just scrims are horrible. I think it's just like. I'm not even gonna try to guess.
It's hard to be good online.
It's hard. I don't enjoy it.
I think it's Josiah online.
I don't know what it is, man. We all suck.
I think he doesn't try.
We all suck.
Let's be honest.
Don't you start stuff right now. But I don't know. I'm personally confident. I think we have a good understanding of the game coming off of second place. I think we're going to carry that momentum in. But online COD is not enjoyable, and our results are a little...
Sam, can I ask you a question?
What's up, man?
How do you play with your like controller under the table? I just saw that.
I have back problems.
What the heck?
No, I know, but like you I don't know. That just looked hard.
I don't say like that.
No, in the clip, it showed your hands like under the table with your controller.
I say like this. I literally say exactly like this.
Just long arms.
Long arms.
I'm a big human being.
You're like Gumby.
My bet.
Gumby, okay.
What's up? What?
No one watching me knows who Gumby is.
I'm just trying to be friends.
That's from like 30 years ago.
I just know it was an insult.
Yeah.
No one, you don't call me Gumby. It's a heartfelt thing.
Oh no, you're a good-looking
messed up.
Good-looking Gumby.
Anyway, we're gonna
okay.
undefeated.
I'm excited. Next up, let's talk about E United. I guess with this team, their 2 losses in winners bracket were to TK in a Game 5. With how TK has obviously won back-to-back events and they're looking strong in the Pro League. How good is this United team? Like, are they better than their finishes? Basically, is my question.
They're really good in the winners bracket. When they get to the losers, they're basically out, right?
Wait, I mean they're not good in winners bracket because they lose in round 1.
I feel like whenever they lose in the winners bracket, it's always a Game 5 round 11.
Yeah.
Or they win the series.
Also,
so like,
something I noticed about them, if you look at their stats from NOLA, they were not winning hard points. They won CTFs and S&Ds, and that was it. And that's how they got to those Game 5s.
doesn't go like 50 and 12 in hard points.
That's actually surprising.
Yeah, we beat them in both hard points. And online, like, they were a better hard point team. But, I mean, I don't know. They're clutching up, I think, at events, and they're getting those 5-6. I feel like that's where they should be.
Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna see how they perform because it's been hard to tell because they lose to TK twice, and I think they got like 3-0 right after that, basically.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The losers bracket, it's over for them.
All right. What about FaZe up next? Obviously, there was some doubt about this team going into the first event with their struggles online. They run all the way, get 4th place. I can't remember their exact finish in New Orleans, but they've looked up and down.
They got top 8 with us.
Top 8. Okay. So what are I guess overall expectations from FaZe Clan coming up? Do you think they're gonna be better than they were at New Orleans?
I think they'll be the same.
I feel like if this team doesn't win CTF, then they're in trouble. Because I think that's what got them that top 4 at Dallas was they did not lose the CTF. They were so impressive on it. When you have a guaranteed map 3 like that, you can flex the series out and win it depending on those game 1 and 4. But at NOLA, they had a terrible CTF record, and I think that's a big swing mode for them.
I don't know. Our series could have gone either way, to be honest. We went Game 5 round 11 if they beat us.
Remember,
yeah, I don't really know what happens there. They 6-0'd us.
I think it's maps with that team as well, like I said about Red. Like us and Red, we was giving them Flock Tower and St. Demont our point, which was, you can't be giving that team with the players on it, so.
I don't know.
Whereas every time we play them now, we ban Flock Tower and stuff.
Yeah. It's like a crazy thing is like how this year started. You guys remember when they made the roster change? It was literally like, what is going on? This is literally the worst option of all time. This is a horrible, and now they're like, top.
Yeah, they're a very good team.
For me, too, Zuma has improved
Tommy's insane.
A lot.
Tommy's really
I think he's their by far best player.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, excited to see what FaZe Clan is going to be able to do. Pat, let's talk about EG. You guys had to make a run in NOLA to even be in the Pro League, but you did get in. I guess how's the preparation been for the team kind of heading into the Pro League?
It's been pretty good. I mean, qualifying for the league kind of was that sigh of relief. It was a very stressful time. So our prep before NOLA was really just nonstop, day to day. We can't mess up. We can't let this opportunity slide. And after NOLA, it's been more relaxed, more like, all right, let's just work on these mistakes. Let's get better. And I'm excited to get here and be able to play on land, practice on land, and and play these teams. So I'm excited.
I think it's been obvious that every single team has improved. Like even from week 1 to week 2 in Division A, like everybody got better in some capacity, it seemed like. I want to ask you, Skrapz, about Splice. Obviously, they have some issues coming in. Jerd, visa issues, whatever the deal was, not going to be here for at least week 1. So they're going to have Felony coming in. And Splice, who were considered top team in the EU, top 3 team in the world, suddenly it's like, is Red the better team? We don't really know. But without Jerd, I mean, how do you expect them to perform week 1?
I think he plays like, I don't feel anybody plays like him, but you've got Tom and Dylan, which are, they've been in this situation before at Champs. It happened to him when Swan wasn't well or something.
I was like, Miracles came in and played, right?
Yeah, so they've been in that situation before. They know what they're doing. Ben's he's one of the best players in the world, so I think they'll be fine.
Okay. Well, it'll be interesting. I can't decide in my head whether they're going to really, really struggle trying to fill Jerd's role or if they're just going to...
I was going to say, what is fine, though? Is fine, like, beating EG or us or EnVy?
They'll go into next week, I think they'll go into next week not worrying about finishing top 4 and getting to playoffs. I think they'll be fine.
Is it confirmed that Fellows filling in?
Yeah.
Fellows filling in.
Yeah.
Is that for this week's match?
Just both.
Just this week.
Just this week is assuming he
so far
can get in, I guess.
I think it comes down to how he plays. I think a lot's on his shoulder.
I mean, you never know. I mean, they could come in and have someone who plays a little slower than Jerd, and it might help them. They might have to change up their vetoes, but I mean, you never know.
Fellow doesn't play slow.
No.
Well, you know what I meant. Like, Jerd is a maniac.
That's why I don't think it'll be that bad, because that fellow's not too slow.
Fellow's he's probably one of the best replacements you could get.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, yeah.
Okay.
Out of the NA teams, yeah, for sure.
We'll see how it plays out. Let's talk Unilad. You guys, I don't think have probably realized your true potential yet. You got a lot of talent on the team.
Yeah, definitely.
What has been, I guess, going wrong for you guys? Why haven't you been able to crack into...
Just mistakes as a team has been blowing my mind, and also just being on the other end of the clutch factor, to be fair. Like, we've been going down to the wire. That TK series at Nola haunted me the most. If you go and watch that back, I don't know how we lost. Oh. On the demand, we're doing what Era did with our streaks, and wow, we was up by 80 points and just somehow lost, and then we lost game 4, which was pretty shocking.
Do you think you guys sometimes tilt a little too much? Like, you're obviously a very passionate guy, but I've seen, like, you seem to get really angry after losses.
Yeah,
you're really hyped with the wins. Does it sometimes hurt you in a series? Like, you lose a game 1, is it a problem for this team sometimes?
No, that's never a problem. It's after series. Like,
Gotcha.
if I lose a series where I know I should have won, it gets the better of me. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, I'm hoping to see you guys improve because
had some good memories there. Let's hope carry on. So.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be a fun time. And then the last team. So the one thing I want to talk about, it seems like versus A, which was very top heavy. You had like 4 kind of stacked teams, 5 maybe until like a Vox looked like awful week 2. You had 4 really stacked teams. Here it sort of feels like there are legitimately 7 contenders almost to get top 4. Does everyone kind of feel that way? Like this is going to be nuts.
Our week is way hard.
Who we count out? Epsilon?
Well, yeah.
They don't even count themselves.
No, exactly. Actually, speaking of that, the reason...
It depends what Epsilon
They're shooting for 2 maps.
The reason I don't feel bad saying that, I think we have the clip, actually. If you haven't seen this, this is an interview with Dave from Epsilon. He doesn't really credit his team. Let's roll the clip. It's
Bit of a mixed day. You had a pretty poor start against both EnVy and Optic, but you bounced back and beat Vitality. Was this expected?
Optic game was pretty close. I did expect to get beat by them, to be honest with you, but I'm surprised we did so well because we're not the best at the moment.
What's not clicking in the team?
I mean, it's just... I think our team's just slow at learning, really.
Are you worried you're not going to make the Pro League?
not
You don't
good.
play very well this weekend, though.
Oh, bloody, that is a bit of a problem, isn't it? Yeah, but mate, yeah, we just have to play the same as EnVyUs. I don't expect to do good this event because we ain't very good. But as long as we get the Pro League, I think it's good.
Is there any teams that you'd quite like to play this weekend?
No. Oh my, everyone's gonna beat us. Oh my. Oh, I don't know, man. Maybe Taboo. Like, I want to play Taboo.
That's one of my favorite interviews ever. But like that's why I'm not really counting them as contenders because I don't think their own team does at this point.
Hey, they're
That's
come out here and beat us all.
You never
right.
know.
Watch.
They blow out the group.
Well, he did say we cut out some of the interview for time, but he said he's like, get us to like April, May. That's when we're gonna start
That's a
performing.
little far away.
It's like mid.
We got a couple months.
Yeah, right. He's like, we'll start performing eventually. Well, guys, I mean that for the most part, that does it. The big thing I want to take a look at is just talk about the actual schedule for this week. We can take a look at that. The big matches we're going to have to kick off Tuesday: FaZe, Luminosity, Unilad, Evil Geniuses, Epsilon, United Splice, and Luminosity.
Have some good memories against you there, mate. I'm buzzing for it. Can't wait.
Oh, man.
The other thing I do want to do before we actually wrap, we have a couple more things. I do want to get to the community questions. So we actually, we tweet out, ask if they have any questions for you guys specifically. The first one's interesting, considering if you just watched the recent KSI boxing match, that was pretty darn entertaining. Let's see the first question that comes in. First tweet.
Where's that?
Here, Eggs versus Slasher.
Come on. Is that a serious question?
Who would win inside the
Not
ring?
even in the same weight class.
I would pay money to see this.
Over so fast.
That's what I'm saying. 30 seconds.
Have either of you ever been in an actual fight?
I'd pay money.
What?
Have either of you been in an actual fight?
You want to answer first?
I've been in an actual fight.
Did you win it?
Come on.
I got Austin.
I used to
How much
box all the
money?
time on the neighborhood.
I used to box
next
all
door.
the time in the
Swear to God.
neighborhood.
I-
Versus who?
I got-
in
Where's the
Northern
neighbors?
California.
I got Austin.
Guy goes outside. Hey, neighbor. wanna box?"
Bro, that's what we did. I'm not kidding.
I feel like Pat would be like dirty. Like he'd bite an ear off or something.
You think?
Yeah, no. If it really came down to it and you had to win,
That would taste like salt.
That's his only chance.
yeah, the teeth. All right, we got more questions though. Let's get to tweet number 2 if we can. This one is going to be for Skrapz. A lot of us seem to focus on you and your twin brother, but what do your teammates Moose and Shiny bring to the table on Unilad?
Apart from being granddads, I think Sean's just like, he does the dirty work. They both do the dirty work, but one of them's just aggressive. The other one's getting in the hill and doing all that stuff. But obviously, people see me killing everything, Bradley killing everything, using an FG, so it doesn't go unnoticed on my behalf anyway. So it doesn't matter what nobody else sees.
Didn't Shiny run an AR in IW?
Yeah, I did, I
So
think.
he switched to a sub here?
No, but it must have been at the start of IW because I've seen a lot of people saying like he uses an AR, but he's not using an AR.
On that
Yeah, I
on the
thought
Elevate
he
team,
was.
right?
Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
he was an AR, yeah.
Yeah, it would have been at the start of IW then because he ran a sub on the second half. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, let's get to one more. I believe we have a third and final question here. I believe this is for Eggs. Which would you choose? Spending a day at the spa with Slasher and Pimp, giving compliments, or put #Greenwall in all of your tweets for 1 year?
I know what you're gonna take there all day. Number one, I know you're gonna take that.
Right? A spot day wouldn't be too bad. Paying me compliments.
It's getting nice and comfy, mate.
Yeah.
Feet up.
Do I get the spot too?
Yeah. But you have to pay me compliments.
Spending a day at the spa with, I don't think you're like their errand boy at the spa. I think you get to enjoy the spa.
Wait, what if you were their errand boy at the spa, though? Then what would you do?
That changes.
Just sat there giving him a
You're,
sausage.
you're bringing him hot towels, you're massaging Slasher.
Austin, remember that time you turned on me?
Yeah.
Oh, it happened.
Can we roll the clip from Orange Sports?
It's fun. It's funny. Okay, so we actually do have the Tuesday graphic now that we can take a look at for the schedule. All right, so there you go. That's going to be the schedule here. EnVy, FaZe, Luminosity, Unilad, EG, Epsilon, United Splice, and Luminosity.
They are some good games, you know. Wow.
You got
That's
no
not the
shot?
match Splice wanted.
I feel like all these matches are just going
What's that?
You got no shot?
These are important,
We'll
man.
see, bro. I'm looking forward to it, man.
Yeah, what? This is a stack day one.
Like the last
Every
week,
day is going to be stacked, bro.
Well, I
Yeah.
feel like
Yeah.
Let's get some
Compared to
predictions.
Division
let's
A, we're
let's
like-
get some predictions in here.
All right, I'm going to predict EnVy's going to win.
Okay.
That's bold. That's a bold.
You guys haven't won much yet this year.
I know. We're due.
This is where it's going to start.
Epsilon-
I have
Epsilon
FaZe,
stuff.
LG, my team, Splice.
Splice over E with a fill.
Yeah.
They have
That-
nothing to
Bold.
lose.
That's bold.
They have nothing to lose. You
I
never
also
know.
agree with you.
That'd be good.
that's-
What was the
You're
last?
both taking Splice?
I think
Last
it's
one was
Splice.
me versus Sam.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
What's
That's-
the
we
prediction
all
on
know
that?
that.
Then
We
we're
all
just
know
gonna leave that one out.
We all know how
Just gonna forget about that one. This game
Stop
not being
feeling too
streamed.
confident. You
Sweet.
picked
That's
yourself
fine
to
then.
win.
I mean, I gave myself a win versus Epsilon. I gotta have a little humility.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
It's true.
Wow.
All right, now it's time for the final segment. This will be the how we close the show every time. It's called Last Stand, and this is basically we're going to have a controversial question, something that I want to get your guys' opinion on. For this final question,
The whole show.
who has the biggest, most unwarranted ego in COD Esports?
He's sitting on the desk.
Really? Scraps?
I looked straight at you, bro. I ain't got
he was
no
talking
ego.
about me.
Well,
For a
I saw them
second.
talking about this on Reddit, and I saw what like fans were saying. I was curious what players kind of think.
No, it wasn't it. Wasn't
all
it?
players?
I think it was Donnie that was the answer for that
Donnie
question,
was a
right?
big one on
Was
the game.
Donnie?
And Slasher's like, I can't say Donnie. He's on my team.
That was the Reddit answer.
Most unwarranted?
Yeah, so like a big ego, but they haven't really earned it, I guess.
Does an amateur player have a big ego?
No, I wouldn't necessarily.
That's a
say
boring
an
answer. We gotta
amateur
get a
player.
pro.
A pro?
Well, that's a hard one, you know.
So in the league, someone in the league.
No one's like.
No one's dead
No
finger.
one's like that though. At least around it.
Oh man,
All right, I'm gonna say Pat.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking Pat too.
unwarranted. Let's think about that.
From 2013 on, it's been unwarranted.
I won a world championship in 2014.
Well, okay, 2014
2015,
I was
I
a year
won
off.
your first event.
won me.
God, there's so with stitches in my hand too. What?
I won with stitches. I didn't think about that. For a second.
That's true. I actually,
have, like, a
think, I think Tip's a solid answer though. I mean, just the way he is. Just he's got a bit of a.
Who was on that
bit of a
phase,
trash
Reggie?
talk. He hasn't
Well,
done anything yet.
has he not won one event?
No.
Yeah, then yeah, has
That's
to.
just how he is, though. He's gonna talk trash if he's winning. If he's not winning,
I love
he
it.
just
I mean,
likes talking trash.
I'm all for
I don't even
storyline.
know if it's serious at this point. I think he's just
I don't-
bored sometimes.
I don't
Like,
think there's
screw it,
someone
I'm
that's,
gonna
like,
mess with this person.
Overly egotistical.
It would have to be Tim. Just in terms of like not winning and thinking
He was
you're
doing
that
it to us
good.
at
Regardless
Chokes
of
as
how
well.
good you actually are, like if you haven't won,
Yeah,
you can't really say anything.
All right, good now.
All right, so Temp and Pat is the universal decision.
Unwarranted?
No, but guys, hey, thank
What
you
a duo.
so much for coming on. It was great to discuss Division A, Division B, and have a little bit of fun. Guys, time to get into the matches. Division B kicking off the first leg of their Stage 1 here in the CWL. Thank you so much for watching Hot Mic. We'll see you next week for Hot Mic. But for now, let's enjoy some Call of Duty.